Hey, my name's Kristofer O'Dowd, and my background is I'm a four-year starter at the University of Southern California. Had a stunt with the Arizona Cardinals, the New York Jets, and the Seattle Seahawks. And I was fortunate enough to be introduced to the Sahara Clinic when I came out in the Trojan Club. We had a great dinner. I got to meet a bunch of people, and one of those resources have really helped me. And that's when I first got introduced to the clinic. And at first I was a little cautious because when you jump into things like those, you have to be certain, and I'm kind of one of those kind of picky people where I need to know everything, and it has to kind of line up and make sense in my mind. And I sat down with Doc and just had a great sit down, and he explained this was going to help me with my performance, with my balance, with my stability, with my power, and helping me with my injuries and recovery. And the one thing at USC that kind of like followed me around was injury. And my freshman, my sophomore, and my junior year, I had severe injuries. Blew my knee out twice my freshman year and my junior year, and then blew my shoulder out my sophomore year. And so I'm very wary about my body, and I want to be consistent. And on a college level, it's harder to find that nutrition and find that diet and find that plan that you need. So we've set out a plan of attack, hit out a great supplement pattern. We got to use the detox. We got to use the adjustments. I did acupuncture on certain areas that didn't really feel necessarily right. The hyperbaric chamber was huge. I could definitely feel a consistency in how my body was responding and healing. And the one thing that I got from this is I started in, I'd say, the spring of 2010, and I did it all the way through 2011. And I did not have one injury or any problem. And if I did have something that kind of nagged me or whatever, we'd come in here, evaluate it, and just power on that source and just adjust the body to where it'll take that pressure, take that stability off the injury or off the area that's bothering me, and it worked out perfectly.
Fantastic. And did you ever have like a doc to touch and test all these muscles, and then what did you what was your experience with that in terms of, and then touching different areas of your body? Was that pretty freaky?
Yeah, I'm kind of one of those people where I like to venture out and do things that a lot of people haven't and try to be on top of the game, and this is definitely something that can help your performance and help you perform the best of your capabilities. And at first it was a little bit strange. I'm not going to be honest here, and kind of putting the right glasses on for kind of how your body's feeling or what you're trying to adjust, and hitting certain pressure points and touching muscles and touching tendons and stuff that you wouldn't think that you would need, but just by manipulating them and kind of getting them to warm up, it'll take a lot of pressure off the larger muscles that can get overworked at times, especially in a sport like football.
Awesome. And then also, can you give us a little feedback or for someone like yourself that's thinking of coming in, and what it takes off season versus during season? How many times did you come in? For how long? Can you give it like a breakdown, like just kind of for people that don't understand that it's something they implement into your life?
Yeah, it was a commitment because as myself, I had a huge schedule all day long with class and with tutoring and with practice and weightlifting, and I only had time at night, and that was my free time, and I gave that up for the pretty much just the path to get my body right and to get myself in fit form. And off season or in season, I feel like off season's a lot harder on the body, just in the sense because you have to get it ready for the season, because you're not necessarily in the weight room as much or anything like that, so you're not really focused on keeping those body parts strong and fresh, and that's what happens. It deteriorates. And so that off season was huge, getting my diet right, eating the right food, staying away from certain things, being on my supplements correctly. It was very meticulous, and it takes a lot of effort. You gotta give the commitment, and if you don't, then you're just gonna cheat yourself. And I feel I did everything I could. I'd come in here, and sometimes we'd have 3-hour sessions. It was really extreme, but very beneficial. And I wouldn't, I couldn't thank this clinic enough.
Thank you. And Chris, what's your favorite treatment on the whole thing, if you can have one?
If I could have one, I'd say there'd probably be two. It would be getting my body just realigned and adjusted. Sometimes you'll be out of whack or get hit, and you wouldn't think it, but it would just change just how your body's structured and just how it needs to get back adjusted to 100%. That always helped, and then the hyperbaric chamber just did miracles. At first you'll get in there and you won't necessarily feel anything. It'll feel like you're in a plane coming down, going up and coming down. But after a couple weeks, you start building that up and start building those the oxygen flow in your bloodstream, and I would come out of there. I'd do about an hour and a half session. I wouldn't want to leave, but you would just feel it right away. Your body would feel more limp. You feel light. You could stretch. You could stretch unbelievable. It's amazing, and it really helped me for somebody that isn't really flexible.
Awesome. And then KO, can we share your testimony with all the potential football players and even just general people in the public for health and wellness, and if they have an injury, they have an option to come here?
Yeah, it could work for any category of person and any level of type of sport level. It's very beneficial, especially in a physical sport like football, and for people that are really trying to take their health seriously. And when the football days are over and when I hang the cleats, this is going to be something that I'd want to keep on pursuing, because I'm somebody that wants to keep my body in tip-top shape and just healthy, because if you don't live your life right, then you'll just die.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
And then KO, we're maybe going to be venturing on in the media too eventually, and can you give us a little background of what's going on? First, you're trying to be in the league still, and then you're doing other things.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't control, injuries in the past.
Sure.
But that's kind of just followed me where I am. But, I am still pursuing the NFL, and if something does come up, I'll definitely think about that opportunity. But in the meantime, just use my resources, use the great USC alumni, and, I'm trying to get into the broadcasting game and, just be on there and just kind of produce and talk about what I love and, get into radio as well. So the great thing is I can use this in every avenue, and very
awesome.
fortunate.
And one thing I really love about KO is we built a really good relationship together. It takes trust and it takes commitment, like he said, on his part. And this doctor-patient relationship has been a wonderful thing for me. I wanted to thank you for your commitment.
Yeah, definitely. I want to thank you. And it takes, it takes a different doctor to where they, accept you into their family and, sit down and break bread with their parents, and it's just it's a whole nother level. And once you have that respect for one another, it shows. And it's not necessarily my doctor, but it's one of my close friends. So you'll get that relationship if you put in that time and effort here.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Fight on.